Greetings and thank you so much for joining us live. I am Melissa Francis. I know everyone is focused on the election here in the US, but if you could take 2 seconds out just to listen to what's going on in the Middle East, because it has a huge impact on you. Joining me now is Reserve Colonel Aries Eshel. You recognize him from our movie Revelation. Also, he's been live with me here. Aries, I know it's been a tough few days, a tough 24 hours. Tell me what's going on.
So it's a tough month. And in my division, last night, 4 young soldiers were killed. And I'm just now returning from a funeral of Guy Nizri, a captain. He's now a major. He was the head of a company in my division. And to understand what's an Israeli soldier and officer and from which family he comes from, you just have to know when his soldiers in his company, imagine around 100 soldiers, and some of them come from families with a weak background. So when he's fighting, and every week he lets 3 or 4 of them to go for 2-3 days of rest, and they do not have a home, he used to send them to their house, his house, to his mother, to feed them and to let them to have a place to sleep. The care for each soldier. And on his funeral, his mother, Yael, an amazing woman, tells us about conversations that she had with Guy, her son, her eldest son. She had only 3 kids, a twin sister, Tamar, and a younger brother. He used to tell his mother, you know what I do as a captain, as the head of a company? I take diamonds and I want to find the most complicated diamonds, the ones that no one can recognize as a diamond. And then I work with them as hard as possible. And then you can see how precious each one of my soldiers. It doesn't matter what's his background. I refer to every one of them as a diamond. The care, the educate. And another one thing that Guy used to do every day, again, very tough, in a war. And at least once a day, the head of the company gathers all of the soldiers together when he can to give them the next missions and to calculate what had happened, what have they lost, who's injured. And he used to demand, he used to call it, now we do a formation of a smile. 2 minutes of a smile. In Hebrew, it sounds very powerful. Misdar chiyuch. A smile is a chiyuch. Like he would want you now, Melissa, to smile for a second.
But
even in the funeral, they want.
I have to ask you though, because as people are watching this, you're good. Your phone's good. I know it's resting on your weapon there. But people would ask, so when's enough enough? I mean, when have enough people died? If you're talking about going to a funeral, I know this is what people out there are thinking right now. And you have 3 kids of your own who are serving, and you're serving.
On the way back, I spoke with my wife, Leah. She's courageous. And I spoke about the funeral, and she tells me, just now they announced about another widow. And Avner Kinel, that was with me, he was one of my best soldiers ever. He's arranging an evening for widows of the war. And my wife is on the phone and says, but you understand how many widows there are? 2 days ago, we had 12 funerals in the same day. But again, in the funeral of Guy, his mother, his twin sister, Tamar, his father, do not stop until we win. Do not stop until we defeat this enemy, this evilness that wants to take democracies down, that wants to take freedom down, that they come from dictatorships, that they come from evilness and hatred of human beings. They do not respect their own families. They manipulate us. And that's the demand of the mother. Return, continue fighting, do not stop. Again, I told you in the past, in Israel, every soldier understands we are not fighting only for the only democracy in the Middle East. We are fighting for the values of the Western civilization that has to return back to basic, to the roots of values, to the roots of the Constitution of the United States. When you vote next week, ask yourself, the one that is a candidate, does he love America? Does he respect the value of families? Does he understand that America has a mission? America is not only about making money. America is about neighbors, families, communities, being good, fighting evil. We are fighting evil. We won't stop. We will never stop.
You know, when you say that the other side is evil and is bent on bringing down democracy, I think to a lot of our audience that might sound extreme. But the truth that I found when I went to Israel and when I interviewed Palestinians and Hamas people on the other side, it is very clear, and it's something that's undisputed, that Israel is just a stopover on the way here to America to take democracy down, and that we are next. And that isn't a conspiracy idea. That isn't, you know, here in the US, people don't believe that, but going there, it's not disputed by either side, that they want to come here next. Aries, thank you so much for joining us today. You want to give us a final word before we go?
Yes.
And we want to remind everybody, if you want to see the truth and you want to understand why both of us are saying these things, please visit Revelation. It's on my channel, Melissa Francis Now on YouTube. We'll have a link down below and you can decide for yourself. If you don't agree with what we're saying, scream back at me. Aries, go ahead.
The only request, the last request of Guy before he was killed, be optimist. Live life of happiness. Do not stop. And the big smile. So we will smile now and we will know the good will win. There is good and there is bad. And we have to improve and we will improve.
All right. God bless you. Aries, thank you so much. I think we're losing your shot there. We're going to go. Stay strong. Thank you, everyone, for watching us. Please share this and share the movie Revelation. Share the revelation. Thank you.